Imagine being only 5 years old and becoming a mother. It sounds impossible, but medical history contains a few deeply disturbing cases involving children who became pregnant at extraordinary young ages. Today, we are looking at the three of the youngest mothers ever documented. What happened to them, and why these cases remain medically and historically significant. These were children who were victims of abuse. So this video focuses on the historical and medical facts rather than sensationalizing their experiences. As number one is Lina Medina of Peru. Lina's case is considered one of the most extraordinary cases in medical history. In 1939, Lina gave birth when she was just 5 years, 7 months and 21 days old. Yes, you heard that correctly. She was just only 5 years old. According to medical reports, Lina was taken to the doctors because her family noticed that her abdomen was becoming unusually enlarged. At first, doctors reportedly believed she might have a tumor. But after examination, they discovered something completely unexpected. Lina was pregnant. Doctors determined that she had an extremely rare condition called precocious puberty, meaning her body had begun developing the physical characteristics of puberty at an exceptionally young age. Lina eventually gave birth by cesarean section because her pelvis was too small for a normal delivery. Her baby boy weighed about 2.7 kilograms and he was named Gerardo. One of the most remarkable parts of the story is that Gerardo grew up believing Lina was his sister. He only learned that she was actually his mother when he was around 10 years old. Lina's case was extensively documented by doctors and later became one of the most famous examples of extremely early puberty and pregnancy. But perhaps the most important point is this: Lina was a child. The pregnancy was not something she could have consented to, and the identity of the person responsible was never established publicly. At number 2, we have Elizabeth Gaishenko. Her case was much less known. Her name was reported as Yelizaveta Gaishenko, sometimes referred to as simply as Lisa. Historical accounts state that she gave birth when she was approximately 6 years old. This case reportedly occurred in the 1930s, when the territory was part of the Soviet Union. Unfortunately, unlike Lina Medina's case, the baby did not survive. Cases like this were extremely rare, and documentation from that period can be incomplete. That's important to remember when looking at historical lists of the world's youngest mothers. Some cases are backed by detailed medical records, while others rely on newspaper reports or later retellings. That's why Lina Medina's case stands out so strongly. Her pregnancy and delivery were examined and documented by physicians at the time. As number 3, we have a 6-year-old case from India. Another case often mentioned among the world's youngest mother involved a girl from India. Reports have described her as being approximately 6 years and several months old when she gave birth. Like the other cases we've discussed, the pregnancy occurred because of sexual abuse. The delivery reportedly required medical intervention, because a child that young will not normally have a body physically capable of safely carrying and delivering a pregnancy. But there is an important warning when researching cases like this. Historical records don't always agree. Different sources sometimes give different names, ages, location, or even dates. So while Lina Medina's record is widely accepted, some of the other names that appear on the internet list of youngest mothers are much less firmly documented. That's why it's better to describe these cases as reported historical cases, rather than presenting every internet list as proven fact.
So how could someone as young as 5 become pregnant? The answer involves a rare medical condition called precocious puberty. Normally, puberty begins several years later. But in children with precocious puberty, hormonal changes can begin unusually early. The ovaries can start releasing eggs, and the reproductive organs can mature much earlier than expected. This means pregnancy can become biologically possible even though the child is still extremely young. But biologically possible doesn't mean medically safe. Pregnancy at such extreme age carries enormous physical and psychological risks. And most importantly, a child cannot meaningfully consent to sexual activities. These stories aren't simply strange records. They highlight serious issues involving child abuse, child protection, and medicine. A 5 or 6 years old child should be going to school, playing with friends, and being protected by adults, not experiencing pregnancy and childbirth. Lina Medina's story is often presented online as an unbelievable medical mystery. But behind the medical record was a real child whose life was permanently affected. That's why this story should be discussed with sensitivity and without turning the children involved into entertainment. So the youngest confirmed mother in recorded medical history remains Lina Medina, who gave birth at just 5 years, 7 months and 21 days old. Her case remains one of the most extraordinary and tragic cases ever documented in the history of medicine. If you found this video informative, subscribe to Veronica Insights for more fascinating facts, unusual history, and stories from around the world. And remember, sometimes behind the world's most unbelievable facts are real human stories that deserve to be treated with care. Thanks for watching.